Hey there, everybody. Welcome back, and hope everybody's getting ready to have a great weekend here. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, where we're not just going to be looking at the core components of FSX Steam Edition, but we're also going to be talking about what makes it different from regular boxed FSX. Now, I know that there's been some controversy out there in the community about whether or not a lot of the changes in FSX Steam Edition are just some sort of placebo effect, or whether they're material or not. There's also been a lot of controversy on the other side saying that FSX Steam Edition is the future of flight simulation, at least until we get a 64-bit solution. So we're going to be talking about both those things right now. We're going to be showing some examples of them, and we'll talk about what members of the community have also shared in terms of their feedback on what FSX Steam Edition really is. So hopefully, look to set the record straight today. I know that some of my other videos I've shown some great tech demonstrations of what makes FSX Steam Edition different, but we're going to talk about more than just performance. We're going to talk about the broader FSX Steam Edition platform, the ecosystem, etc., and what the future of FSX Steam Edition looks like. So, first of all, we're going to go ahead and get off the ground, and we'll have some time to talk today. I just want to share with you guys real quickly, as I always do, what the settings are that we'll be using today. So as you guys can see, really nothing's changed from my previous videos. DirectX 10, 2560 by 1440, anisotropic filtering, anti-aliasing. Aircraft is on the ultra high setting. Scenery is all maxed out with the exception of mesh resolution and water effects, because I want to avoid terrain anomalies and DirectX 10 anomalies. Scenery complexity extremely dense, density extremely dense, special effects detail high. Weather, cloud draw distance at 90, natural visualization, detailed clouds all maxed out, and traffic's at 40. 20 for GA, max airport vehicle density, ships and ferries 20 and 20, and we are using MyTraffic 2013 along with FSDT's GSX. And we'll be flying, you'll be seeing 3 airports today, and the 3 airports you'll be seeing will be KSNA, the new KSNA that was recently released. You'll also be seeing KPSP, which is also a relatively new airport from Orbix, and then also here where we are right now is 29 Palms KNTP, I believe, is the ICAO code, which is 29 Palms. So it's 29 Palms by 29 Palms. As you can see, so far, just sitting here on the ground, frames are kind of jumping around. We have some pretty intense weather that's going on up there, but frames are amazing right now. I mean, there are times when frames are peaking out at over 100 frames per second. You can see right now they're hovering somewhere around 70, 80, and kind of going up and down. This is right now they jumped up to like 126, 130. But this is a relatively simple airport. There's a lot of auto-gen here on the ground, but you can see performance is absolutely off the charts, even with those crazy settings. So looks like we're going to be having a great flight. You can see it's not the nicest weather, so we're going to be kind of skimming the earth here, so we can stay out of the clouds until we get to KPSP, where we're really going to have no choice but to climb over those mountains. Cool. Let's go ahead and get the party started. So we'll do a quick run up here. And we'll go ahead and get this bad boy started up. I'm just going to auto starter, just for simplicity's sake. And for those of you guys who did not see my previous video, this is the Real Air Duke Turbine version 2. So absolutely phenomenal aircraft. Been spending some more time with it, and one of the best aircraft. Well, definitely the best non-tube liner aircraft I have, hands down. Absolutely love this bird. And if you guys were looking for something to kind of build some prop proficiency on, especially on the turbo side, on the turbine side and the dually side, this is a great aircraft. So go ahead and throw our inverter on, get our avionics cranked up here, and GPS. We'll go ahead and take a notch of flaps now. And open up our oil doors, because it's hot desert kind of weird sauna thing going on. 29 Palms, by the way, is a great developer. They actually used to develop some sceneries, I believe, for Orbix, and you can see they have their own kind of people flow animations going on here. Orbix has not really figured out how to... there's another guy over here. Oh, there he is. He's hiding behind that Cessna. Alright, let's go ahead and get the party started. And so we'll start talking about, let me put her into high idle just for our taxi. So we'll go ahead and start talking about actually something that you see right here at this airport, which is performance. So with the latest Dovetail patch, they did say that if you're not using VSync, you will see up to, now that's up to, a 10% increase in performance. Now, I have to say that at least on my system, I have not seen a massive jump in performance. However, what I have seen is a great amount of stability. I should say frame rate stability, so smoothness. I have to say, I've been using Flight Simulator X for avidly, I can say the last 5 years. I mean, I bought it pretty much on release day, but I didn't use it for the first couple of years. For the last 5, I've been using it very, very, very avidly. I mean, it's been non-stop. My virtual airline, my newest virtual airline, just in the last year and a half or so, I've racked up about 1,800 hours of them across about 200 legs. My VA before that, I racked up somewhere like 2,700 hours. So I spend a lot of time in that simulator, and I love it to death. Obviously, I mean, I have not X-Plane, but P3D as well, and I always come back to Flight Simulator. So be very clear. I want to be very clear that I fully understand how FSX performs, and I have been using it for long enough that I know all its tweaks, I know its nuances, I know its do's and its don'ts, and I have to say, I've never experienced smoothness like I have in FSX Steam Edition. Whether I'm flying a larger aircraft like my Quality Wings 757, very soon PMDG will be coming out with their 777 installer, and afterwards their 737 installer, and I'll be doing some videos on that as well. But even on my more frame rate demanding aircraft, such as my Quality Wing 757 or more complex smaller aircraft like this, or some of my Coronado aircraft, I have to say it is a smoother sim. You get less stutters, you get better performance. And when you look at the changelog, which we'll be going into the changelog a little bit later, they've done a lot of things to kind of the core of the simulation that I'm assuming is helped by the fact that they have a new compiler, the VS 2013, the Visual Studio 2013 compiler, where they've really been able to smooth out a lot of the performance issues that we've been plagued by the last 8 years with regular FSX. So without a doubt, there are performance enhancements, and we'll look at some of those today. Let's go ahead and take this back down to low idle, and we're looking good, so we'll go ahead and turn on our landing lights and our strobes and our beacon as well, and we'll take the runway. We're going to be, right now it looks like our cloud cover is around 6,000 feet, so we'll take an initial cruise of 6,000, and I'm just going to continue here on to takeoff. A little bit quirky getting this thing stable after that turn. Alright, here we go. And we're looking for about 99% NG and 100 knots. 105 knots. Trying to keep her steady in these winds. There's some nasty crosswinds going on. And here we go. We're off. And put the gear up now. Look for the gear up. Shake animation. There she is. Alright, we're right at 120 knots, which is what I like to climb at, and you guys can see we're pretty much right on the money at 99 NG. So, we're going to start climbing at around, we'll do 4,000 feet for right now, 4,000 feet per minute, and we're going up to 5,000, I'm sorry, 6,000. And I'm going to bring our climb down to 2,000. And I'll bring our power back as well. I'm actually going to bring back our props just a tad bit, just to keep our RPMs nice and stable. I want to keep our ITT under control as well. Make sure that doesn't hit the red. Our prop RPM, it's pretty hard to make it hit the red, but our ITT and our torque needs to stay under control. So, alrighty, and we'll do flaps up now. Alright, so going back to the performance discussion, stutters, freezes, frame rate consistency, texture popping, all these things have really been improved, and I'll go real quickly into the Steam overlay here, and we'll look at the changelog that allows those things to really come to fruition. So As we look at the changelog here, let me see if it's here. So those are the notes clarification. Let's go on over to the discussions. And let's see, new update. Okay, so in the most recent update, you guys see some of these improvements right here. So increase the vertex and index buffer handling and a few other things. They give up to a 10% frame rate improvement as long as V6 is disabled. You also see here that they changed the default value of the max per frame texture uploads to decrease time for high quality terrain textures to appear. Now this is another really big one for me. As I simmed before, and you guys can actually probably see it if you look at even my old YouTube videos, which we can go to here. You guys can definitely see where, if you're watching some people's videos, whether it be my videos or some other videos that are out there, you'll see that there are cases where there's texture popping. I think even in Frugal's, one of Frugal's latest videos, where he's looking at this exact same aircraft, he has some cases of texture popping when he gets close to KSNA, and I'll show you guys this real quickly. And it's just something that it's something that we've just kind of come to accept in the flight simulation community. But oh great, we got an ad. It's absolutely game changing when you're flying, let's say, in a fast military aircraft, or when you're entering, highly dense autogen intensive areas or photoreal areas, and you can, look around your aircraft, pan around your aircraft, and do all that without having texture popping. It's absolutely amazing. So, if you look here, I think it's going to happen any minute here. He's going to make this turn, and then if you look down there at the ground, you're going to see the ground kind of turn like black or gray or something like that. And that's just, something that we've all come to accept. Well, I'm willing to bet that as you watch today's video, you won't see that, how it turned all black and stuff. It happens in one of my previous videos, as you look around at various FSX videos, you'll see it. But they've really been able to minimize that, and although it's nothing that's going to fundamentally completely change your simming experience, it goes to show you that there are some things that are just more than placebo effects. In fact, we're going to be flying into that airport KSNA, and you'll also notice that we don't get that popping there as well. That popping also applies not only to high detailed ground scenery, but also to the sky as well, because sometimes if you look up, in fact you see it in one of my videos when Steam Edition first released, before they had this patch, if you look up at the sky sometimes when you're using like Rex textures, you'll see sometimes the sky will turn kind of gray as well, and you'll get that sky texture popping, and of course it happens with clouds as well. So it's really great. The other, and that's the update. I don't know if they still have the changelog here from when they first released it, but anyways, you'll see in the changelog they have some other performance enhancements that are out there as well, in the way that they manage texture cache releasing, which reduces VAS usage and things of the sort. So performance is definitely there. Try it for yourself. It's a more stable, more reliable, better performing sim overall, although you're not going to see a massive jump in frame rates. The consistency is definitely there. Now, speaking of those changes, one of the other reasons that, and I guess I should say the second reason that FSX Steam Edition is better is its stability. So it has built-in UI automation core, right? It has, various bug fixes here and there to help increase the stability of the sim. High mem fixes there by default, and as you look at the change logs, not only from release date but also from this patch, you see that there are multiple stability and bug fixes in there that really keep this sim from crashing anywhere near as much as a even very aggressively tweaked FSX box edition would. With that said, there's more than just the stability that exists today. We also have to recognize that they have updated SimConnects. They have the latest versions of SimConnects. You get less crashes, less errors, and you actually have a way of reporting those bugs or reporting any sort of stability issues that you have. Because right now, with Microsoft, obviously they're not going to reply to your email if you have an issue with FSX Box Edition. But Dovetail is an active developer who's actively engaged in the development of this sim and actively engaged with the community. And you have a way of continuing to look at the stability of the simulator getting better and better. So the stability is there. The third reason goes back to what I was just talking about with Dovetail. And when you think about it, this simulator is the only consumer product on the market, because a lot of people are going to talk about P3D, and P3D is great in its own right. I mean, it looks really good, great eye candy. The thing is, wildly aggressive on VAS usage. I mean, it uses so much VAS, it's not even funny. You are guaranteed an OM with FSX or with P3D if you use settings anywhere near like the ones that I just showed you, and you try this flight. I can guarantee you will not be able to complete it. But P3D, let's be honest, is not a consumer product. It is a simulator that's intended for either academic use or professional use. It is not a consumer product. So when you look at the consumer product that's available out there, you got X-Plane, you have FSX Boxed Edition, which you can't even really get anymore, and of course you have FSX Steam Edition. The only one, unless you're willing to go to X-Plane, that's still being constantly updated is FSX Steam Edition. So Dovetail, when you go on the Steam community site for FSX Steam Edition, and even when you look at some of the other developers' websites, you go to Pete Dawson's forums, you'll see that there are Dovetail developers that are in his forums listening to people's feedback and giving them solutions to the new SimConnect clients or workarounds for FSU IPC compatibility, etc. So they are engaged with the community. It's constantly being updated. And Dovetail not only has fixed some of these bugs, but has also made performance enhancements, and they are committing to continuing to do that. So it's a constantly updated simulator, which of course you just can't get with FSX. Now, alluding to one of the other points that I was just talking about, reason number 4 is the fact that there's no more CD installs that are needed, and CD keys or any of that stuff. And real quickly, we're coming up to Palm Springs here, and we'll take a quick look around. You guys can see I'm using Rec Soft Clouds, and they are absolutely amazing. Let me take over this stupid overlay now. They are absolutely amazing. I mean, I love Soft Clouds so much. It's just, it's completely transformed my sim. Still waiting for ASN to get compatibility, but, once ASN comes along with their compatibility and I get back some of those haze effects and things of the sort, we're going to, really have a great looking simulator, and we're coming up to, Mix's KPSP, which is, once again, an absolutely amazing scenery, one of my favorites. And you can see the amount of autogen that's down there. I mean, this place is completely saturated. So we've got really nasty weather up above. We've got a lot of autogen down there at the bottom, really high quality terrain mesh, and she's chugging along at a very happy frame rate and with great stability. Now, we're coming up here, so we're going to start our climb. Let me give it a little bit more power. And we're going to start our climb on up to, we'll say 10,000 feet. And we're going to give it a vertical speed of 3,000 just to be safe, because we got to get ourselves up and over those mountains before we get ourselves killed. Actually, we'll go 11,000. So, control this climb here. Alright, she's looking good. So, yeah, so going back to that point, point number 4 is that, there's no more CD installs needed. I still have my box edition sitting around, and, I dread the day that if I were to ever scratch one of those CDs or lose one of them. So I actually backed mine up. I created an ISO of my old CD keys, and then I have of my old CDs, and then I have my CD key backed up on my computer, as well as, of course, I have the physical box that also has my CD key in it as well. So that's great. But then, once you install FSX, then what? Then you have to go and install Service Pack 1. Then you have to go install Service Pack 2. Then you have to get to your tweaking. With FSX Steam Edition, none of that's necessary. You literally click a button, and depending on how fast your internet connection is, you click a button, and you pretty much immediately get to install it, right? So my internet connection is very fast. I can install this thing in about 7 to 10 minutes flat. I think we're getting a little bit hot on our ITT. Bring her back just a little bit. I think that's what that beep was. But, I get her installed in about 7 to 10 minutes, and I'm on my way. No more tweaks needed after that. I'm ready to hit the play button, and, the latest SimConnect's in there, and, life is great. It's a completely dynamically updated platform. No Service Pack installs, no CD installs, no CD key. entering, none of that stuff. It's just kind of one click, literally a one-click solution, and you're ready to start simming. So now that we're out of KPSP, I'm going to look out here, and you can see how beautifully Soft Clouds is. I'm sorry, how beautifully Soft Clouds are. There's the mountains down below, the Banning Pass, getting this kind of weird line effect, which I'm assuming is like some sort of a fog horizon. So we're going to descend back down to 10,000 and see if we can get rid of that. I'm not really sure what that is. But, you know, these soft clouds are absolutely, yeah, there we go. So it went away now. Oh, I guess it was a line created by that cloud we're flying right in the middle of. But these soft clouds are absolutely gorgeous, man. Look at that. I mean, it may not be P3D volumetric, but it's a happy medium. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful cloud set. Crazy gorgeous. Anyways, alright, and you can see the plane's kind of yawing around from the turbulence. Alright, so reason number 5 as we continue on down here is, you know, I think that this is one of the biggest parts of why Steam Edition is better than regular FSX, is that it's bringing in so many new players. So right now, if you wanted to buy a copy of Microsoft Box, I don't even know where you would get it from, to be honest with you. I guess you can get it off of eBay, and sometimes those are pirated copies or they're fake copies, or they are, you know, ridiculously overpriced. But, you know, for those new players that want to, low fuel warning, but it's okay, we got more than enough fuel to make our destination. For those new players, you know, who are there on Steam and they're playing Counter-Strike or they're playing other simulators or they're doing whatever, you know, they now have a way of accessing this great game where you can't find it on store shelves, you can't find it in retail outlets. There's really no other way of getting this game if you wanted it. There's no digital download for FSX, so you have to go find a second-hand boxed edition, which is next to impossible. You know, and then you have to go track down these service packs that are really hard to find nowadays. I mean, I guess there are some Microsoft sites that are still up, or you may be able to find service packs through, you know, third-party repositories. But you know, it's really hard to get your hands on a copy of FSX nowadays unless you've had your old CDs. Steam gives it to the masses. It puts it on the largest game distribution platform there is and makes it available to so many more folks. And you know, when you think about that, that really is a kind of a double-edged sword, in that not only is it great for the players that would like to start using FSX, but also it's a good thing for the devs. You know, just the other day on Air Daily X, which is a great website, by the way. If you guys don't go to airdailyx. I think it's net, right? You guys definitely should. Outstanding website by a guy named DeAndre. Just a wonderful resource. I go here pretty much every day. You know, you look at this. There's a posting where he's talking about Imagine Sim and IDS Studios are looking for new developers, or looking for new independent developers, and you know, modelers to build new airports for them, or building aircraft, etc. Now you think about that. It's, you know, every now and then there are developers out there who are looking for new talent, but think about that. Imagine the demand that's now happening for FSX developers. Now there's all these new people. I mean, just the other day, the CEO of Orbix made a statement on AvSim where he was saying that they are seeing incremental growth in their business, in the sales of their product, because, you know, there's so many new people that are now simming that, you know, find out and go use Google or whatever, and they find out about their product, and you know, now they're coming to Orbix's website and purchasing their products, or going to you know, Flight Sim, whatever you call that website that you have to buy Orbix through. So it's creating better business for our developers, and that's obviously a good thing, because that means that they hire more developers, right? They hire more modelers, they hire new staff, they bring on new folks, which means we get more airports released. Usually that would also mean that the airports get released faster, because they're not so much you know, having to use up their resources on one single project. They have more people, they can do more projects at one time, and we get higher quality add-ons. So, you know, it's a great thing, not only for the economics of the flight simulator community, but also for the ecosystem of the flight simulator community. We're bringing in new players, we're bringing in new business, and it's great for everybody. The next point is actually multiplayer. So multiplayer is back now. This is not this is not by any means professional multiplayer, right? If you're expecting it to be something like that sim type stuff, it's not. It's a fun multiplayer environment. It's cool for people to want to go on and play with their friends and joke around and be kind of stupid or whatever. But it's still there, and we have not had a solid multiplayer platform in quite some time. And you'd have to go through these weird ports after the game spy service went down. Dovetail has completely brought back multiplayer for FSX, and it's great not only for those of us who are looking to have casual fun, but great for those who want to do cool things like shared cockpit. The other day I did a shared cockpit with one of my aircraft with a friend, and we were flying around and having fun. And although you can't do it with all aircraft, especially not the more complex ones like PMDG, you can do it with less complex aircraft, some level Ds. You can actually do it with some real aircraft as well. Shared cockpit is an absolute joy, great way of hanging out with your friends, spending time and doing cool stuff. Now, speaking of multiplayer and the general Steam ecosystem altogether, the next reason that FSX Steam Edition is better is that it's giving you the Steam overlay, which the Steam overlay is absolutely awesome. So in this, for those of you who are not familiar, you have access to the Steam community, right? So this would be like the forums for all your games, but in this case, Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition, because that's what we're playing, where you can see there's all kinds of discussions going on. It gives you access to communicate with your friends who are playing games, so whatever game they're playing, whether they're playing a game that you're playing, or whether they're playing another game. And if they are playing a Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition and you wanted them to join in on your fun, you can invite them to your game, or you can invite them to your multiplayer session or whatever it may be. So the Steam overlay is absolutely great. You can also play music if you'd like. That, and you can access your entire music library on your computer. And last but not least is the fact that you have a full-blown web browser. Earlier you guys saw me watching YouTube. It can have Flash enabled. Actually right now, since we're going to KSNA, I'm going to look up the approach chart for KSNA. So actually let's do that while we're here. We'll use FlightAware, and we're going to be doing the 2-0 right. So our localizer is 111.75. It may be hard to see that in the recording, but 111.75, and our approach course is 196. Go around altitude missed approach is 3,000 feet, and our approach altitude is 3,500. So actually, let's go ahead and plug that in now. So 111.75, just so we can continue to fly here. And obviously, these are clearly VFR conditions, so we're gonna have to use our ILS. Cool. And then course is what was it? Course was 196 approach course. Alright, 196. And I'll fine tune that with my SciTech panel. Let's see. 196. Cool. Alright, so you can look at your approach charts here. You can, and actually we'll probably start descent now as well, so let me pull back the power just a tad bit. And if you actually look, if you look down here at my autopilot, I still have complete control of my simulator, even though I'm here in an approach chart. You still have full control of your yoke, of your SciTech panels, on 3500, right? You still have control of your throttles, everything that basically would not require a mouse click, you still have full control. So you can fly, relatively easily in the background while you're here in your Steam overlay, which is absolutely great. Your simulator is still completely functioning in the background. Can move this around as well. So the Steam overlay is absolutely awesome. It's like having an EFB right there at your fingertips, a social outlet. You can watch YouTube videos while you're flying, whatever you want to do, while you still can have, let's say, like VATSIM going on in the background, or listening to air traffic control, or whatever you need to do. So it's great. Steam overlay is a great enhancement, and you don't have to leave full screen mode. You don't have to leave your simulator. You can still see everything. It's just a godsend. And then, so reason number, I believe we're on 7 now. I'm sorry, we're on number 8. So reason 8 is coincidentally the fact that it is Windows 8 compatible. So for the first time, Flight Simulator X is compatible with Windows 8. So far, if you use Windows 8 and Flight Simulator X, it would be an absolute and complete nightmare. You'd have all kinds of compatibility issues. Joysticks drop, the simulator crashes. It would want to revert to non arrow mode or whatever, back to compatibility mode, and you would lose some of the visual functionality of your desktop. It just did not play nice with Windows 8, and of course if it doesn't play nice with Windows 8, and we all know Microsoft is no longer supporting this platform, then you know it would also not work well with Windows 10. It's not like Microsoft is going to sit there and program Windows 10 to be compatible with FSX. So now that we have Dovetail programming for us, they've made it fully Windows 8 compatible, and of course, Dovetail will aspire to make it Windows 10 compatible as well as Windows 10 rolls out. I love Windows 7. I've been using Windows 7 forever. I know some folks out there that love Windows XP and have been using Windows XP for quite some time, but we can't use Windows 7 and we can't use Windows XP forever, right? There will be a point where we will have to get off of those platforms, and it's great to know that Dovetail is providing us with the updates that we need to make our simulator compatible with future platforms. So it's Windows 8 compatible, Windows 10 compatible, which FSX is not right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. The next thing I would say that's more that makes FSX Steam Edition better is that it runs an extremely efficient code. So like I said, it's now on VS 2013. So I think the last update that came out for Microsoft Flight Simulator X, well, I know it was Service Pack 2, but I think it was in 2009 or something like that. 2008 maybe is when that patch came out. I can't really remember. After that update, you saw a ton of compatibility issues, or a ton of various issues that were apparent in Service Pack 1 get fixed, and they did do some minor changes to the VS compiler, and the VS compiler right now for regular Microsoft Flight Simulator is, I want to say, VS 2000. I think it is VS 2008. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, it's some ungodly old Visual Studio compiler, which makes the code very inefficient and limits some developers' ability to efficiently code or program for this platform, along with making enhancements for Dovetail very, very difficult as well. Now that we're on VS 2013, even Pete Dawson, for those of you guys who don't know, he's the guy who created FSU IPC. He has been ranting and raving and talking about how great the new code on FSX Steam Edition is. It is truly, truly great code. I'm no programmer. I'm not all up in that code and looking for places to hook stuff. But if Pete Dawson says it, I'll take his word for it, considering he's probably the single most important developer in the FSX community right now. Last but not least, so reason number 10 is VAS and out of memory. So as we come up here to KSNA, oh my god, look at those soft clouds, dear lord, holy smokes, god, I love those things. So as we come up here to KSNA, you got to think about the fact that our sliders are completely maxed out. We are now coming up on our third mega airport, or our third very highly detailed airport. So we left 29 Palms, we went to KPSP, and now we're coming up on KSNA. None of those things are vast slouches. You would be hard-pressed to make it even in between two of those airports with relatively moderate settings. Nonetheless, make it between all three of those airports with completely maxed out FSX, at least maxed out in terms of things that affect VAS. Then you have this crazy cloud coverage up above, which would also add to the VAS and would probably break your simulator. Then you have FTX Global and Vector running down below on top of those custom. Oh crap! You see that lightning bolt? Holy smokes! You have Vector and you have Global running down below, and I think we're about to start our approach here. So let me get us on in. We're going to start our descent on down. Try to capture the glide slope here. So we'll pull back the throttle. So, you know, all these things amount to what would normally cause a massive OOM. There's no way that regular FSX would be able to handle this kind of memory. But because of the enhancements that Dovetail has made to the FSX code, or to FSX Steam Edition, you know, no matter what tweaks you used in the past, right? You could use all the little mega tweaks that are out there, you know, your fiber frame stuff and all that, and you would still not be able to get rid of out of memories. It was just something that we have learned to live with as simmers, and we've learned to tweak our configurations and turn down eye candy and such, just to prevent an out-of-memory error and losing our flight and having our flight crash on us. And everybody who's been doing this for a while and uses high-quality scenery knows about the dreaded ping that happens when your computer's dying. You know, that's not happening here. This thing is ridiculously efficient in VAS management, and you guys can see that in some of my other videos. Ridiculously efficient in terms of VAS management, ridiculously efficient in terms of out-of-memory errors, and I'll tell you that since I've been using this thing with all the mega airports that I use, I am yet to get an out-of-memory error. So it is, it's an absolute joy to fly. The stability is second to none, and it's nothing that you know, you'd be able to get in regular FSX. You know, should it be that that you wanted to fly between mega airports and you wanted to use high quality add-on scenery, you know, you just have to accept out of memories, or you have to turn on the eye candy. There is no compromise here with FSX Steam Edition. You put the settings where you want them to be, you make the tweaks that you want. If you want to make those tweaks, I personally have not had to make any tweaks in my settings, and you fly. You don't have to worry about turning off airports, or, you know, unselecting airports, or thinking about, oh my god, am I going to get an out of memory error, right? Should I turn down my settings some more? It's just you just get in your plane and you fly, and you enjoy it, and you have fun, and there's just no more doom and gloom about, oh my god, I'm going to get an out of memory error. So that is my number one reason, without a doubt. You know, even if it didn't run smooth, or even if the compiler wasn't more efficient, even if there wasn't multiplayer, even if all that other stuff, I can guarantee you that everybody would want to buy a program that was you know, claiming to eliminate your out-of-memory errors by, you know, at least 60, 70, 80%. And FSX Steam Edition does that. I'm a guy who used to be plagued by out-of-memory errors. As I said, I fly a lot of flights with my virtual airline, and I did a lot of long-distance flying, and, you know, I've had more out-of-memory errors than I ever would wish to recount. But FSX Steam Edition, I'm yet to have one. So that's my list. Those are my 10 reasons why I believe FSX Steam Edition is indeed better, and hopefully you guys agree. If not, that's fine. Tell me why. Leave some messages in the comments, and I'm going to go ahead and land this bird. Autopilot's off, and we've got a nasty crosswind, and I'm slightly low. Down there. Oh man, this crosswind's nasty. Throw into beta. Alright guys and gals, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you all very soon when PMDG releases their new installer for the 777, which will probably do a flight from, let's say, KLAX on over to Honolulu or something like that. We'll see where we decide to go. But I will see you guys all then. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, leave me a comment if you have anything to say about my top 10, or if you have some other ones that you think makes FSX Steam Edition better, or if you think I'm a complete idiot, tell me that as well. So, hope everybody enjoys their weekend, and I'll catch you guys later.